Did you know that the way you store your food could be silently harming your health after 60? That jar of peanut butter in your fridge might actually be putting you at risk right now. Here's something alarming. Every year, nearly 48 million Americans get sick from improperly handled food, and over 3,000 lose their lives. Many are seniors just like you and me. According to health experts, our immune systems naturally become less powerful as we age, making us much more vulnerable to these dangers. What's truly shocking? Many of these problems start right inside your refrigerator, the very place you trust to keep your food safe. Recent research shows that storing certain foods at the wrong temperature can destroy important nutrients, trigger harmful changes, and even increase your risk of food poisoning. And for seniors, these risks can be especially serious. The worst part? Most of us have no idea we're making these mistakes every single day. That fruit you automatically tuck into the fridge or the pantry staple you chill without thinking twice. You might be unknowingly setting yourself up for health problems. In fact, the number one item on our list today not only loses its health benefits when refrigerated, it might actually develop harmful compounds when kept cold. Stay with me to the end, because what you'll learn in the next few minutes could not only improve your health, but possibly even save your life. Ready to discover which foods should never go in your fridge and which ones absolutely must stay cold? Let's jump right in. Before we start, if you're new to our community, tap that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss another health tip designed especially for vibrant living after 60. Quick question, are you finding this helpful so far? Type useful in the comments if you are. 3 foods you should never refrigerate. 1. Peanut butter. Remember spreading peanut butter on toast as a child? For many of us in our golden years, peanut butter isn't just food. It's a connection to happy memories while providing easy protein and healthy fats. But storing this kitchen staple in your refrigerator might be doing more harm than good. I always thought keeping peanut butter cold would make it last longer, shares Bill, 67, from Colorado. But when I learned what happens to it in the fridge, I immediately moved it to my pantry. Such a simple change made such a big difference. When peanut butter gets cold, it transforms in ways that create real challenges. The oils harden, the creamy texture becomes stiff, and spreading it suddenly requires muscle power you shouldn't have to use for making a simple sandwich. For those of us with arthritis or hand strength issues, this turns a simple pleasure into a frustrating, sometimes painful task. But the problems go beyond just texture. Think of those heart-healthy oils in peanut butter as delicate flowers. Refrigeration makes them wilt. When repeatedly moved between cold and room temperature, these beneficial fats start breaking down. What does this mean for you? Those same oils that could be supporting your heart health might instead contribute to inflammation throughout your body when improperly stored. Have you noticed your refrigerated peanut butter sometimes tastes slightly bitter? There's a good reason. Cold temperatures gradually diminish key nutrients, including vitamin E, a powerful defender that helps maintain brain function and fights aging in your cells. If you're working to keep your mind sharp, this quiet nutrient loss really matters. The joy factor matters too. Food isn't just fuel, especially as we age. It's comfort, routine, independence, and pleasure. When that smooth, familiar spread becomes hard, bitter, or difficult to use because of improper storage, it takes away one of life's small but meaningful pleasures. The solution couldn't be simpler. Keep your peanut butter in a cool, dry pantry shelf, tightly sealed, away from direct heat or sunlight. Natural varieties stay fresh for 2 to 3 months this way, while commercial brands remain good for up to 6 months. The result? A creamy, spreadable, nutritionally intact treat that's kind to your hands, helpful to your heart, and pleasing to your taste buds. Is your peanut butter in the fridge right now? No judgment here. Pop into the comments and let us know if you'll be moving it to the pantry after watching. Speaking of kitchen staples, our next item might really surprise you. This everyday vegetable can actually develop harmful bacteria and create unpleasant odors when stored incorrectly, potentially contaminating other foods in your refrigerator. 2. Onions. They might not be glamorous, but onions form the foundation of countless delicious meals that bring warmth and flavor to our tables. For many of us who find joy in home cooking, onions are essential ingredients. But storing them in your refrigerator could be quietly compromising both their quality and your health. Think of an onion's papery skin as its natural protective coat, designed for dry, airy environments. When you place whole onions in your refrigerator's cold, damp environment, you're essentially taking off that protective coat. Moisture seeps in, the layers soften, and that firm, flavorful vegetable gradually becomes mushy and vulnerable to mold. Rita, 73, shared her experience. After storing onions in a hanging basket instead of the produce drawer, they're lasting weeks longer and my recipes taste better too. Plus, my refrigerator no longer has that lingering onion smell that used to transfer to everything else. For those of us with sensitive digestion or naturally lower immune function as we age, this isn't just about taste. Mold and bacteria that thrive in damp conditions can contaminate onions, especially cut ones. This introduces unwanted guests that our bodies may struggle to handle. There's also a hidden benefit you're missing. Onions contain natural compounds that help reduce joint discomfort and support heart health, two priorities that become increasingly important with each birthday we celebrate. When stored improperly, these beneficial compounds start breaking down faster, meaning your body misses out on their protective effects. Don't overlook how this affects your enjoyment of cooking and eating. When your onions taste dull or slightly off, or when they leave your refrigerator with that persistent smell that clings to other foods, it impacts your mealtime pleasure. And in our senior years, when food serves as both nourishment and enjoyment, these small disruptions matter more than we might think. Here's the better approach. Store whole, uncut onions in a dry, well-ventilated space like a basket, mesh bag, or bowl in your pantry. Give them breathing room, not cold. Once cut, use them within 2 to 3 days or store any leftover pieces in a sealed container in the refrigerator. Has this changed how you think about storing onions? Share your thoughts in the comments. Now let's talk about our third food, a fruit so common you probably had one this week. Refrigerating it doesn't just alter its flavor, it actually stops the healthy ripening process that makes this fruit so nutritious. 3. Bananas. There's something incredibly reassuring about bananas. Naturally sweet, gentle on the stomach, and perfectly packaged by nature, they've likely been part of your life since childhood. For those of us in our senior years, bananas are particularly valuable. They provide easy energy, potassium for heart rhythm, and vitamin B6 for brain health. But the simple habit of putting bananas in your refrigerator, often with the good intention of making them last longer, actually prevents this fruit from delivering its full health benefits. When you see a banana's peel darken in the refrigerator, you're witnessing its response to cold damage. Bananas evolved in warm climates and simply aren't designed for refrigerator temperatures. Cold exposure shuts down their natural ripening process, which is actually vital for developing both flavor and nutrition. The result? A banana that looks ripe from the outside but remains firm and less digestible inside. It's not just disappointing to eat. The interrupted ripening means you're missing out on beneficial antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and support brain function. I used to refrigerate my bananas to make them last longer, explains James, 70. Now I keep some on the counter at different stages, greener ones for when I want lower sugar, and spotted ones for easier digestion and baking. It's like having different fruits for different needs. For those of us watching our memory, mood, and inflammation levels, these naturally occurring compounds are particularly important. But once chilled, their development stops in its tracks. There's also a practical concern. Refrigerated bananas often develop condensation under the skin, especially near the stem. This trapped moisture can lead to mold growth, a serious consideration for those with sensitive immune systems. The solution matches how nature intended. Store bananas at room temperature, ideally hanging or in an open bowl where air can circulate. If they ripen faster than you can enjoy them, peel and freeze them for smoothies or baking. This preserves both their nutrition and their place in your healthy eating routine. We've now seen how common refrigeration mistakes can quietly impact your well-being. But what about foods that absolutely must be kept cold to remain safe? Let's explore these items that should always have a place in your refrigerator. Have bananas been living in your fridge? Let us know in the comments. If you're finding these tips helpful, type "thanks" to let me know you're enjoying the information. 3 foods you must keep cold or risk serious health effects. 1. Cooked meats and leftovers. Is there anything more satisfying than a home-cooked meal? The wonderful aroma, the warmth on your plate, the comfort of knowing exactly what's in your food. For many of us in our senior years, leftovers represent more than convenience. They're about kitchen independence, wise budgeting, and enjoying home cooking multiple times without daily cooking effort. But that comfort can quickly turn risky if those leftovers, especially cooked meats, aren't promptly refrigerated. This is one area where casual handling can lead to serious consequences, particularly for those of us over 60. Here's what happens. Even after food is thoroughly cooked, the safety clock starts ticking immediately. As soon as cooked meat begins cooling on your counter, bacteria begin multiplying rapidly. And for seniors, this happens against the backdrop of our naturally changing digestive system. This creates a critical difference between younger and older adults. While someone in their 30s might bounce back from food poisoning with a few uncomfortable days, the same exposure could send someone over 65 to the hospital with dangerous dehydration. Dorothy, 75, learned this lesson the hard way. I always thought letting my beef stew cool completely before refrigerating was the right approach. After getting terribly sick from leftovers I'd left out too long, my doctor explained that food should never sit out more than an hour on hot days. Now I use shallow containers to cool things quickly before refrigerating. Here's something particularly important to know. Bacteria can reach potentially dangerous levels in just 2 hours at room temperature, and you won't see, smell, or taste these harmful microbes until your body reacts to them. What makes this even trickier is that food poisoning in seniors often presents differently than expected. Instead of obvious stomach distress, you might experience confusion, unusual fatigue, or a low-grade fever, symptoms easily confused with other health concerns or medication effects. This isn't about creating unnecessary worry. It's about simple awareness that protects your independence. Proper refrigeration isn't just a good idea, it's essential protection. Using shallow containers for faster cooling, transferring food to the refrigerator promptly, and tracking how long leftovers have been stored can make the difference between enjoying a second delicious meal and facing days of unnecessary illness. The guideline is simple. If you're not eating it within an hour, especially on warm days, cool it quickly and refrigerate it promptly. Then label it with the date. For safety, most leftovers should be enjoyed within 3 to 4 days. After that, even if they look and smell fine, the risk becomes too significant. How do you keep track of your leftovers? Share your system in the comments. Your method might help someone else stay safe. While properly handling leftovers is crucial, they're not the only foods that demand careful refrigeration. Let's look at another everyday category that can become surprisingly harmful when not kept consistently cold. 2. Dairy products. A slice of cheese with crackers, creamy yogurt with breakfast, or a refreshing glass of milk. These simple dairy pleasures connect many of us to lifelong habits and even childhood memories. But beneath their smooth texture and familiar comfort lies an important fact. Dairy products absolutely must be kept consistently cold to remain both safe and nutritious. Milk, cheese, yogurt, and other dairy foods are nutritional powerhouses, providing protein, beneficial fats, calcium, and essential vitamins that become increasingly valuable as we age. But these same nutritional qualities also make dairy the perfect environment for bacteria when not stored properly. For those of us over 60, this risk increases significantly. Our digestive systems naturally change with age, stomach acid becomes less acidic, our immune response is less vigorous, and our recovery from bacterial exposure much slower. What might cause minor discomfort for your grandchildren could result in serious illness for you. Helen, 68, shares a practical tip. After leaving cheese out during a family gathering and getting sick, I now place a small digital timer near my cheese board. When it hits 1 hour, everything goes back in the fridge no matter what. Simple habit, big protection. When dairy products sit unrefrigerated, their composition begins changing as bacteria multiply, often without visible signs or obvious smells in the early stages. These bacteria don't just affect taste. They can trigger digestive distress, inflammatory responses throughout your body, and particular difficulties for those already managing conditions like arthritis or heart disease. The effects of consuming improperly stored dairy can be especially challenging for seniors to recover from: dehydration, increased joint discomfort that lingers, and fatigue that persists for days. These aren't just inconveniences, They directly impact your ability to remain active and independent. Protecting yourself is straightforward. Always return dairy products to the refrigerator immediately after use. Maintain your refrigerator temperature below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. Store items in their original containers or airtight alternatives, and respect expiration dates. For soft cheeses and open milk products, be particularly careful about proper storage times. What's your favorite dairy product? Share in the comments, and let us know if you've been storing it properly. We've covered 2 essential food categories that require refrigeration, but there's one more that might surprise you. A food many seniors rely on for vital nutrients that support brain health and overall well-being. Yet when improperly stored, it quickly loses its nutritional value and can harbor bacteria. Let's explore why leafy greens deserve special attention in your refrigerator. 3. Leafy greens. They might look delicate in your salad bowl, but leafy greens pack a powerful nutritional punch, especially important for those of us in our senior years. Whether it's spinach with your eggs, a crisp lunch salad, or sautéed kale at dinner, these vibrant leaves deliver key nutrients that support memory, bone strength, blood flow, and even mood balance. Despite their impressive health benefits, leafy greens are among the most fragile foods in your kitchen. Without proper refrigeration, they quickly lose both their appealing texture and their remarkable nutritional value, while potentially developing harmful bacteria. Unlike sturdy root vegetables or pantry staples, leafy greens begin changing almost immediately after harvest. They depend on consistent cold temperatures to preserve both their crispness and their nutrient content. Left at room temperature for even a few hours, greens don't just visibly wilt. They silently lose valuable nutrients that are particularly beneficial for maintaining cognitive function, eye health, and heart wellness. Mary, 71, found a simple solution. I used to keep lettuce in a bowl on the counter for convenience until I learned about proper storage. Now I keep my greens in the crisper drawer wrapped in a slightly damp paper towel. They're staying fresh much longer, and I'm actually getting the nutrition I paid for. The concerns extend beyond simple nutrient loss. As leafy greens soften and moisture builds up, they become increasingly welcoming environments for bacterial growth. What makes this particularly concerning is that spoiled greens can be deceiving to the eye. Slightly wilted edges might seem harmless, but within those damp areas, harmful bacteria can multiply rapidly. For seniors, the stakes are higher. Improper storage could mean exposure to bacteria that cause extended digestive problems, increase inflammation, or lead to dehydration. All these outcomes are considerably more challenging for our aging bodies with naturally lower immune responses. Beyond immediate health concerns, improper storage means missing out on nature's brain food, the folate that supports cognitive function, vitamin K that helps calcium absorption for stronger bones, and antioxidants that protect your heart. It's a nutritional opportunity lost unnecessarily. The solution is simple but effective. Store all leafy greens in your refrigerator's crisper drawer, lightly wrapped in paper towels to manage moisture, and placed in perforated bags or containers that allow some airflow. Wash them just before using, never before storage, as additional moisture speeds spoilage. With proper storage, you're not just extending how long your greens last. You're preserving the vital nutrients that support your health and independence as you age. What's your favorite type of leafy green? Share in the comments and tell us how you've been storing it. Your refrigerator, your health, simple changes, big impact. As we've discovered today, not everything belongs in your refrigerator. Some foods lose their nutritional value when chilled, others develop unpleasant textures, and a few even become potentially harmful. Conversely, certain foods absolutely must be kept consistently cold to remain both safe and beneficial. For those of us enjoying our senior years, these seemingly small decisions about food storage directly impact our energy levels, comfort, and quality of life in ways younger people might not experience as dramatically. It might seem minor to keep bananas on the counter instead of the refrigerator, or to move onions to a breathable basket. But these simple changes can significantly influence your digestive comfort, inflammation levels, immune function, and even how well your medications work. Isn't that what we all want? Not just more birthdays, but better quality years between those celebrations. One thing I've noticed personally is that our bodies speak to us in whispers before they start shouting. The occasional digestive discomfort, unexplained tiredness, or joint stiffness, these aren't always random. They're often connected to what we eat and how we handle those foods. Your refrigerator is meant to be your ally in health, but using it incorrectly can quietly undermine your well-being. This conversation isn't about creating worry around food storage. Quite the opposite. It's about simple empowerment through practical knowledge. Taking control of these basic aspects of daily life doesn't require expensive equipment or complicated systems. It starts with understanding which foods benefit from cold and which ones don't. Here's my friendly advice from one senior to another. Make small changes to your food storage this week, just one item at a time. Use a simple marker to date your leftovers and eliminate guesswork. Place a small note on your refrigerator listing, "Never refrigerate foods," as a helpful reminder. Share these tips with a friend who might benefit. Knowledge shared is knowledge doubled. Remember, we've all made kitchen mistakes. I certainly have. But it's never too late to adjust our habits and take better care of ourselves. Your health, independence, and enjoyment of food are absolutely worth these small but meaningful changes. I'd love to hear from you now. Which food storage tip was most surprising to you? Will you be making any changes based on what you've learned today? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your experience might help someone else make positive changes too. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone who might benefit, and join our community by subscribing for more practical health tips designed specifically for vibrant living after 60. Until next time, remember, simple changes to how you store food today can mean better health tomorrow.